All right, so I'm just going to film a quick little weekly update here as I am participating in a month-long readathon this month, which is the medievalathon. I'll put the link to the Twitter page for that readathon down below. So at the end of the first week, I have completed one book, so I am now in the rank of peasant. However, I completed the challenge for the clothing item of Crown, which was to read a book that had a fight for a throne. I'm not going to go too much into the plot of this one because it is the second book and the final book of this duology. But that is Eden Conquered. The first one was Dividing Eden. The first one I really enjoyed. It was, I can't even really describe it, but there's a brother and sister, and they have to fight for the crown. You know, they're twins. This one just picks up exactly where the first one left off. There is, throughout both books, there is a lot of political cat and mouse sort of games. It really dives into the family relationship between the siblings. Not only that, but the relationship like with their father and their mother, and their passion for their kingdom. There is a little bit of romance in it, which has quite the twists and turns itself. So if you were looking for a character-driven duology, both books are fairly short. I think I can't remember what the first one was, but I think it was about the same size, so like 250, 300 pages. But it packs a wallop. That being said, the ending of the second book did feel a little rushed. Basically, there was all this build-up throughout the first book, the second book, and then you get to like the last 10 pages. 5 of that is like the final battle, and the other 5 is the expositional stuff after that shows you what the characters' endings were and how they moved on with their lives after this big climax. I don't know if there was enough material to stretch it onto another book, or if there's any novellas or anything out there that fill in any of the gaps or maybe add to the story a bit. But I did think that especially where the final conflict was when it happened, it didn't really do justice to the rest of the story. The author spent a lot of time really building in all this deep intrigue and then kind of ex machinas the whole ending. I think that's the term, where basically it's just like, here's fairy dust and everything's fine now. So I still recommend it as a read. I'm definitely not going to bash it. Both of these books by far have so far been among my favorites, actually of all time. But not to say that they're not without their flaws. So that is something to keep in mind if you do plan on reading this duology. Is don't go into it expecting a lot of action. There are action scenes, but there's not a lot of them. Don't go into it expecting a lot of romance. There's not a whole lot in there. But definitely, if you like the twisty, turny, political intrigue, conspiracy buildup, character driven, like each character is very unique and they have their own set of strengths and they have their own set of weaknesses. And how those strengths and weaknesses build the characters and make them who they are, and how they overcome weakness and turn it into a strength. And so the first book got 5 out of 5 stars for me, but I read that last year. This book, like 4.5, and that's only because of how it ended. Otherwise, it would have been a 5 out of 5. So yeah, that was the ending of that one. I did make fairly good progress into my giant book this month. It doesn't look it because my bookmark is like there. But it was 88 pages that I got read out of this one. So for this week, that's a total of 391 pages. Because this is such a big book, I'm not expecting, or even though I read 88 pages, and it seems like it's a lot, I haven't really even touched on the setup yet for this novel. So far, the characters in here are absolutely amazing. Ardor Ben himself, his personality is hilarious. I absolutely adore him already. Um, if anyone is a anime fan, you've probably heard of Lupin the Third. That's kind of what his attitude is like. He's very intelligent, but he really just kind of takes things as they come, and everything is a plot and a plan with him. And he is a master. He is a master, not a thief. He is they call him ruse artist in this. From what I'm reading, it's more of like a con man. Um, but things go insanely sideways, and his whole attitude is kind of like, oh well, that happened. Next thing, he just, and he's yeah. So I can't really say too much um, with the plot or the characters because we're still just meeting everybody. But so far, the two male main leads, which is Arthur Ben himself and his partner in crime, who is called, I don't even know these names. I can't find it that quickly for a video, but um, the two of them so far have been just a hoot. So this is definitely a book, even though it's a big book. I think it's going to feel, unless it slows down a lot, it's going to feel like a quick read just because when you get absorbed into it, that's just it. You get absorbed into it. And so far, all the characters I've met, I've just adored. So I'm really, really looking forward to plugging away at this one for the course of the next month. And yeah, so that was where this week was. I'll see. Oh, I should mention this because I started a game. Um, I downloaded a little paper doll. This is going to seem really silly and off counter, but I downloaded a little paper doll, and for each challenge that I complete, I've got some clothes for her. So as you can see right now, I've got her little crown on her. If you're following my Twitter, you're probably going to see her a lot because I'll be posting regular updates with each book I finish for her. So anyway, I'll put links for my Twitter where I'm keeping the most of my updates, as well as the Twitter for the medievalathon, which has a bunch of the information for the medievalathon itself. Or you can reference my previous video, as I do link Holly Hart's books announcement video, as well as the Twitter for the readathon there as well. That's it for this week. I will see you guys next week. And if there's some time, I might also add some clips of a daily reading vlog. But for now, I'm just sticking for sure with weekly updates throughout the month. Bye bye.